What's up, y'all? Jason back in the basement. Just came back from my vacation to Toronto, Ontario, Canada. First time to Toronto, not the first time to Canada, but the first time to Toronto. Wanted to do the Niagara Falls with my wife and my daughter, which we did. Great trip, and I really enjoyed it. So, as usual, today I'm shooting on the Fujifilm XS10 with the 10 to 24 millimeters and Rode Video micro. Okay, so on the trip, I took the XS10. I wanted to do some vlogging, which I did do, and I brought the camera with me, but I didn't bring the 10 to 24. In my head, I was thinking 10 to 24 or 16 2.8 and the 35 f2 as my prime combo. I decided to go with the 16 2.8. This also used to be my primary vlogging lens when I'm sitting here doing these basement videos, and I used to have this on the camera. So it's lightweight, it's small, easy to take with me, and so I chose to take this one along with the 35 f2 to do the photography and vlog combination. And I did that because it is smaller. The 10 to 24 is versatile, and I'm going to do a separate talk about this lens because I feel like it's underrated because of the f4. But if you're shooting outdoors in good light, I'm going to be at 5.6 to f8 anyway. And that versatility of having a 15 millimeter to 36, 38 equivalent, very versatile for the type of photography that I do. I never go past 35. Don't like to go past 35. So I try not to be, sorry, my phone rang. Try not to go past that for most things. So I think it works for that. So I like to think that the 16 millimeter 2.8 is the probably underrated for travel. I would say street, but I'm going to say travel because street and travel, there can be an overlap. And for me, that's what it was. Here's why I like it. I like it because if you're a family man like I am, and you got a small child like I do, 4-year-old, you're going to always be close. And this is where the 16 millimeter excels, being a 24 millimeter equivalent, is being really close. Because if you were using anything, like some people like to say 50, like I had the 35 f2. If I was using a 50 millimeter lens or 50 millimeter equivalent, then being close is a bad thing. It works for everything else. So you can get, the environment, you can, get details and things like that. But when you're in close with your loved ones, it works against you. And I think this is where the 24 excels. Now, on the other end, it excels because now you can tell the story of the width of what you're seeing. You can shoot a whole landscape. Toronto is a metropolitan city, much like New York City, nearby where I live in New Jersey. Lots of buildings, skyscrapers, businesses, lights, lots of people on the street, interesting things going on. You're in the thick of it. You're not away. You're not on the outside looking in. You're actually in the inside of all this stuff happening. And this is where something wide like 24 millimeters, 28, 35 starts to walk the line of getting a little normal. But, I personally like 35 the most. But I've had a lot of fun shooting at 24 millimeters. And I think that this might be something I explore more. And especially if you go indoors, it won't fail you because everything is closed in already. You now won't be pushing everything so far back. So that perspective distortion where things are, far away or really, really far away, things indoors aren't necessarily really far away. And so you can get people, you can get, the scene at the same time without switching lenses. And I think the versatility of wide angle lenses is something that you can't underestimate, especially if you're shooting travel and family. And so now I understand why fixed lens cameras like Ricoh GR3s and Fuji X100Vs and cameras similar to that exist. Because you can do it all if you are the right type of person. Now, like I've always said, once you go past 50 millimeters or at 50 and beyond, you're now details and portraits. You're really not capturing environment, context of where you are and things like that. And I really like the context that the 24 millimeter has given me. I have an example slideshow, that I put together, and looking through it, I really noticed that, you know what, I never missed anything. And that's another thing about the wide angles, like you don't miss shots because there's so much room, in the shot that you can pick out things. Like, I don't like the crop, I don't, but it gives you an opportunity to crop if needed. It's especially if you got enough megapixels. Like the XS10 is a 26 megapixel camera, so you got a lot of megapixels to crop and to really still get a high, resolution file at the end of the day. Listen, get your shots and your composition right in camera as much as possible, even from the perspective of your color and your exposure. Get it right in camera. But having the flexibility with the raw file to really carve out a piece of that scene or a certain section of it the way you want to, take out a little bit of the detail here and there, gives you some room to work with. Now, the other way around is if you're shooting tighter, you can add room to your shot. So that's kind of where it ends there. So I really love this. I'm going to do a lot more photography with this. And so stay tuned for that. Now, in regards to the video, I loved it for vlogging. I love it. There's a lot going on out in the world talking about how 24 is not wide enough and you probably need to be more at like 18 to 20 for vlogs. But I really think it depends on how you vlog. When I vlog, yes, 24 can get a little tight, but because this lens is really light, I can hold it out a little bit farther away and not have any issues with the weight and the strain of the camera, and still get enough of the scene behind me. And my face might be a little tighter in the frame, but I don't think that that matters if you're gonna add shots where you're not in the vlog and you're behind the camera, or you add pictures to the vlog that show what you were doing. So I think people shouldn't underestimate the XS10 or any camera. XS20 is out now, so those kind of cameras that have the flip screen, and then utilizing a very lightweight prime, wide angle prime, the 16-2.8, very underrated in the Fujifilm lineup because of the 1.4 and now the 18 1.4. Those lenses are out there. They're fantastic, I'm pretty sure, but I'm always going to go for size and convenience more than aperture and brightness and all that stuff, because with these cameras nowadays we can push the ISOs, clean them up in post, and they're going to be fantastic. The camera does a great job controlling the noise, and also let's not be afraid of the noise. Noise isn't that bad. 2.8's f2, there was a yesteryear of time where there was hardly that, it didn't even exist, and that photos were looking great. People loved the photos. People love their videos. Why do we need faster than that? To me, give me something small, easy to carry, out, more useful, and that matters way more to me. So I'm gonna end it there. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you do 24 millimeter, travel, street photography, things like that? Let me know in the comments. Talk to you next time. Have a great one.